Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hindu Explainer series. I am Kushagra Goyal and very warm greetings from Law Prep Tutorial. We are overwhelmed with your response, as you all know, with all the students who have been consistently along with us on the newspaper analysis series, and now you have also got your revision series that you have been asking. Now, a little bit differentiation between the newspaper series doubts and your revision series doubts, all right? So for the doubts that you have with the revision series, at the very end of the series, we'll have them addressed in one singular video. However, if you have any related doubts that you want to be immediately addressed, you all viewers can use the newspaper analysis comment section to get them addressed, alright? Now, there were some interesting doubts that were there from yesterday's newspaper and also related to 16th June newspaper. I have once again told you 16th June newspaper is very important from your legal section perspective. It has one important judgment from the Delhi High Court which can be part of your examination, all right, in some way or the other. Please don't skip it. If you have any doubts about it, please ask me in the comment section. There were some doubts, so I'll begin with those doubts already, all right? So the first doubt was related to a statement, all right? UAPA law is a law with serious penal consequences and reiterated that when the law visits a person with serious penal consequences, the court must take extra care to ensure that those with whom the legislature did not intend it to be covered are covered within it. So who files the cases or who makes a charge sheet? The police, all right? They are the investigative wing. And it is for the court to determine what the investigative agencies have done is correct or not, whether there is evidence to support it or not, all right? Now, how do you determine whether an offense is within the ambit of such a thing or not? Now, let's say all of you must have used or have driven in a vehicle, right? A motorized vehicle. Any offense under the motor vehicles is a part under the Motor Vehicles Act, right? But there can also be actions that can come beyond it. For example, you're driving a car rashly, irrationally, or you were under the influence of alcohol and then you hit someone, all right? Now, it is offense under Motor Vehicles Act. It is also an offense under the IPC, where culpable homicide not amounting to murder, right? So, therefore, did the question then, or the statement here that the doubt is asking is, does the IPC intend to cover those crimes that happened on the road or while being driven a motorized vehicle? So that is the question. The onus is on the judges to ensure that nothing that a legislature did not intend is covered in an offense, all right? You will not be asked a question directly related to it. Mark my words, all right? It is part of constitution and part of constitutional understanding of criminal law, something all of you will learn in your law schools, so hold tight when you get into NLUs, all right? Then moving on, now another question was, are Galwan clash important for CLAT 2022 aspirants? Now, I've told you Galwan clashes is something part of the larger narrative of Indo-China relation, all right? That is definitely a question. The second part that it can be asked or related to, all right, is the situation or the containment of Chinese, all right? So therefore, in that regard, or the abuse of sovereignty of a territory is something that Galwan clash signifies. A territory of one country, someone comes from outside to take it. That is a breach of sovereignty of the country that possesses that territory. Galwan clash was basically India defending its own territory with China pushing on, all right? Then the next question was, an economic union is a type of trade bloc which is composed of a common market with customs union. Any economic bloc, let's say all of us, we at Law Prep or all the viewers of Law Prep tutorial decide that we will have one common demand from CLAT consortium. Let's say that we demand that the CLAT examination should be taken place twice over the year, so that students should be given a second chance. All right, now that is a legitimate demand. We make a common consensus, so we make a block, we call it the group demanding 2 attempts for CLAT. That is how we name it. So similarly, economic unions such as the European Union or ASEAN, or the hope with SAARC was this, that we all who are members of it will abide by one common rules. All right. So trade blocks are that. Now another question was a yield curve. Now that is very specific economic knowledge, so I'm not going to address it and confuse other viewers. Then moving on, another question is, what is the difference between debt financing, equity financing and money financing? All right, now interesting question. Now let's say you invest in Twitter. All right, you purchased a share of Twitter, it's trading approximately $300, right? Now this is Twitter selling shares of itself. Whenever you buy one share of $300, you get a stake in Twitter. That is funny financing. All right, now let's say Twitter took a loan from Government of India to open an office in NCR. All right, now the loan that it took is debt. All right, now this debt is refinanced to people who are interested in buying that particular loan, and they will pay it off. So what happens? Twitter pays back, Twitter gets money to pay back the debt. We all get it. All right, people buy it in different shares, and later on people will be able to recover money or not. That instrument is debt financing. All right, and money financing is very similar. Whatever money you have, you finance it to different people. Let's say I have 1,000 rupees, I give it to every one of you viewers, and one rupee. All right, and I tell you that hold it for me for 1.5 years, and whatever return you make on it, or I make on it, or you all provide me 1 rupee each, and whatever money I make, I will assure you that I will give you 1.5% of it back. So that is money financing. All right, a yield curve is the curve that determines how much that you are able to make. All right, don't go into yield curve, you will not be asked questions directly related to it. All right, now next question was a generic one. All right, now this was, how do you utilize the rest of the days or make revision notes about it, for those who have been consistently following the newspaper series and the revision series. See, newspaper is where we do detailed analysis of the news. All right, in the revision series, I'm going to address you that these are important news, some basic facts about those headlines, where those headlines featured. All right, that's about it. In the revision series, we are not going to, for example, the order of Delhi High Court is something we have discussed here for 3 consecutive analysis, and for 5 to 10 to sometimes 15 minutes also. The revision series video itself will be at max of 25 minutes. So obviously a lot of details and analysis will be missed out. But the revision series is what kind of questions can come and what are the basic facts. So for those who have been consistent with the newspaper series, the revision series is basically a quick revision plus ensuring that you have covered all the important questions that can come from those topics. Then moving on with today's newspaper analysis. So on the front page, as I told you, that the central government and Delhi police had filed an appeal to the order that the Delhi High Court gave. The Supreme Court has now issued notice in that order. Now what does this mean? It means that the Supreme Court will hear the case afresh. Arguments will be made particularly on the order. The bail has not yet been stayed. So the activists who have been granted bail, they have been granted bail. The Supreme Court has stated it will then, it has done 2 things. One, it will hear the cases afresh, in the sense that arguments advanced in the order or before the Delhi High Court will be heard by the Supreme Court. Why? Because a judgment by the High Court is not binding on all the High Courts. They may follow it, they may not. But if a judgment is advanced by the Supreme Court, it has to be followed by all the High Courts. Therefore, The central government has claimed that, see, the Delhi High Court has turned the entire law upside down. They have diluted the law, therefore Supreme Court should hear it. So Supreme Court has stated we'll hear it, but at a later point of time. Alright, it's not something urgent, but in the meantime the case will not be acting as a precedent. However, one aspect of it, which is Article 19 and dissent, is something that I told you is generally part of Constitution, is always asked in one way or the other in your law examinations. Therefore, the third part of that order that we discussed on 16th June analysis still stands. Alright. Then moving on, apart from this, on the front page, very limited news for us. So we move on to the editorial section. Now, in the editorial section is on the left hand side, fair assessment for class 12, how you are being assessed, the formula, all right, it's an analysis of that. Then on the right hand side, what needs to be done with the vaccines. The vaccine policy should be streamlined based on supply constraints. Policy narrative not important for us, all right. However, what is important for us here is this article. This article is about same-sex marriages, all right. In the Navtej Singh Johar case, the Supreme Court called Article 377 of the IPC as non-constitutional. What was that? It criminalized same-sex intercourse, all right, or any unnatural form of intercourse. That is now being done away with. But there are a lot of countries that have formalized the institution of marriage of same-sex relationship, all right. Now, first thing first, sex and gender are two different things. Gender is biological, sex is your sexual orientation. Biologically, I may identify as a man, but sexual orientation of mine can be bi, can be towards male, can be towards female, can be towards not anyone at all right. So this article talks about that as Indians, we have the formal right under part 3 of the Constitution to have marriage with whosoever we want to, all right. Now this article talks about one, other jurisdictions where it has been permitted, and then on the right hand side, all right, is the case of Shafeen Jahan versus Ashokan KM, a judgment that in the month of November, October, December, January is something that I've been telling you is a very important judgment, all right. But first, about the left hand side is talking about first South Africa, Australia, and then the US Supreme Court. All three are talking about cases where finally the Supreme Court of these jurisdictions made the same-sex marriage formalized, all right. So that is what the article is, and on what grounds. Now in India, an extension has been drawn by the author, is that under the case of Shafeen Jahan versus Ashokan KM. Now hear me out carefully. A right to choose and marry a partner is considered to be a constitutionally granted freedom. What had happened in the case of Shafeen Jahan versus Ashokan KM? A woman and a man of different religion had decided to get married. Their father, the girl's father, filed a complaint that, see, this marriage is invalid, it is against the norms of the community. The Supreme Court ordered that no, if two adults decide to get married, they have the right to choose. You cannot, or society cannot put pressure on them of how they have to exercise this right, all right. So this was the case of Shafeen Jahan versus Ashokan KM. Now, in the case of Navtej Singh Johar and the case of Justice Puttaswamy, the Supreme Court has stated that your sexual orientation is a private choice. It is a natural understanding, all right. It happens to people differently. You may seem, or one male may incline to be towards women, but the other may be inclined towards men, or not at all. It is something natural and nothing is unnatural about it, all right. And an extension is that if doing or having intercourse or not having intercourse with anyone is a private choice, why should someone be denied of the right to marriage also? But So what kind of question can be formed in this is directly related to the case of Shafeen Jahan versus Ashokan KM, that adults have the right to choose whosoever their partner is. All right, right now in India that only extends to a binary understanding of male and female. All right, same-sex individuals or members of the LGBTQA plus community don't have the right to indulge in that. All right, however, the court has claimed that, see, this community is disadvantaged and their rights are recognized. All right, so therefore now the editorial then claims there is nothing that stops that why this should not happen further. All right, that marriage should be formalized in these three jurisdictions. In these cases this has been confirmed already. All right, then on the left hand side, cold peace between US and Russia, the summit between Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden. All right, nothing much came out of it. This editorial is also very limited for us. All right, then moving on the other national news. So there is one buzz around that central government may finally announce elections in Jammu and Kashmir. The assembly in Jammu and Kashmir is similar to what will be in the state or is in the capital region of New Delhi. All right, however, what would be the stand is something that is to be declared in the coming weeks. All right, so political circles. Then nobody objected to the building. This is the interview by our Speaker of the Lok Sabha. One important question that he answers here is about virtual hearings of parliamentary panels. All right, that parliamentary or house panels or parliament standing committee that determine or deliberate upon bills that are sent to them and scrutinize them is a process that hasn't happened yet and something that should happen. He claims that, see, until the rules of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are amended, that cannot take place and we have to wait for further session. He also strengthened the case that why more members should be there or the exercise of delimitation should go on beyond 2026. Now until 2026 we have a bar that this would be the upper limit of members of Lok Sabha and state assemblies. There is a case that this should now increase because of rise of population. All right, then moving on the international news is on the left hand side. So at the front runner for Iran's presidential election is Ibrahim Raisi. The results of something that are more or less confirmed as the time when I am recording. He is front running. We'll be discussing more about this when the results are finally out. But Ibrahim Raisi, the current Chief Justice of Iran, is the one who is primarily in contention to become the president. When the nominations were announced or those who were permitted, it was seen that it was more or less confirmed that he would become the next president. Then what led to Biden-Putin summit, the tensions, all of this. All right, now this is a precursor to the history between them. Now in larger issues is what the conflict between Russia and US is. Cold War countries. Russia sees itself a nuclear power. Its military might far beyond its economic status in the world today. All right, and then Russia sees Eastern Europe as its area of influence and does not want those countries to fall under democratic countries or influence of Western countries. That is one of the reasons for heightened tensions. Then in 2016 was the claim that Russian cyber crimes had happened or they had interfered in US election and ensured Donald Trump won by flooding the space with fake news against democratic candidates. All right, so it needs to be seen where their relationship goes now. Then there is news about two things. First, Turkey is set to secure Kabul airport in the meantime. So to secure that Taliban does not get access to major infrastructure places, Turkey, which is a NATO ally of the US forces, will be the one that will be guarding the Kabul airport. And then on the left hand side, US to spend $3.2 billion to develop treatment for COVID-19. Right now, we have been using steroids, and other ailments that happen to the body because of COVID-19. We don't have any direct treatment to COVID-19, to which this can be a significant step. Then on the economic side, nothing of real note. The first day washed out of the World Test Championship, which means that we now move into the reserve day, is what the news is about. Apart from this, nothing of real note for us. On that note, I'll conclude for the day, and if you like the work that we do, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all tomorrow.